website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, when I was starting out trying to learn how to solo, I was actually under the impression that every top player within every style like metal, rock, blues, whatever, were able to just sit down and then play a totally perfect improvised solo. Like they were ready to produce the album with that solo that they were just playing, just right off the bat with no preparation. And of course, some people are able to do that, but most people prepare. And that's really what dawned on me when I looked into it, that very few people on the top level are really just improvising, not in rock and not in metal. They prepare, they compose their solos in advance based on the licks they learn, the sequences they know, the tools, the arpeggios, the scales they know. They sit down and say, okay, how can I play the most awesome solo here involving different techniques? And then they practice it beforehand. Of course, if you know that already, you should have told me back then, because I was aimed at improvising. I thought that was the only thing I had to learn. Only thing, that's a huge thing, right? To be able to just produce that totally together solo, just perfect from the first time. But so because I had that illusion, and if you have that illusion, well, you need to get off that horse, because that is going to hurt you. Because you set a standard so high that you're going to get frustrated when you're not able to do it. And you're going to get frustrated that you're not approaching or you're not moving towards that point. Because very few people are. Because there are not lessons out there that teach you how to improvise, other than learn a lot of licks and a lot of sequences and then just use them, and then magically by means of luck and magic, you will learn how to improvise. But there's actually a science to it that we teach in different programs on guitarmastery.net. But in this course here, I'm going to just put a nail or a flag in that illusion that top players are able to improvise and really create that magic just with no preparation. But you can! And here's the number one strategy of how to aim at being able to play perfect rock and roll solos or blues or jazz or whatever it is. Doesn't matter what style it is. Here's the process of how to do that. And it's very simple. Because just think about it. When you are preparing to play a solo, what are you doing? You're improvising slowly, right? Composing is improvising slowly. That's just what it is. That's the only definition between the two, or definition of the distance between the two. When I'm composing, I'm taking my time. I like that. I like that better. Or maybe I can spice that up. Right? And then suddenly it's there, and you got it, and you basically come up with stuff, but you give yourself time to change what you're playing until it's perfect. When you practice improvising, that's exactly what you should do. So here's the process. You take any jam track that has the challenges that you want to face, like say if you have the first position minor pentatonic or blues scale laid out, and you want to practice improvising in that blues scale, then you want a track that fits that scale, of course, right? So in the beginning here, I was playing 4 chords. I was playing the A minor, and then the G major, then the F major, and then the E major, right? And if I want to use the minor pentatonic, then what I do here to practice improvising is that I try to come up with something. Once I come up with something that sounds cool, I practice it 10, 20 times, like say. And I've been doing this a lot, right? So almost everything I play without stroking my own horn or tooting my own it comes out like that because I've been practicing like this. But say you have to well, I can shape that up. Maybe I can put some phrasing into that. Bend up to the last note. Yeah. And once you come up with something, then it might take you a couple of minutes to come up with something that sounds good based on a lick you know that you change, or a sequence, or just whatever, just a note you have right there. Once you come up with it, you play it over and over until it's easy, as the track is running in the background. Right? Once it's easy, you come up with the next little line. Yeah, right. Right? And then you play that 10, 20 times. It might be something really simple like... That sounds pretty cool. Let me put some more pinch harmonic. Let me see if I... yeah, bend it up and I stop it at the top. And end on the root note there. Maybe. Right? So I'm improvising, but I'm taking my time to play the same line and refining it over and over and over again. I know that this sounds quite differently when you're new at it, because you're stumbling and fumbling and you're not playing anything that sounds like music. And then suddenly something works, right? I did that in the beginning. And then once something works, you play it a couple of times and you develop it a little bit. See if you can make it sound even better. Once it sounds even better, you play the same thing over and over and over again. And that's composing, right? But as you become better at this and you stay in the same position on the neck, you keep playing like that, you find new things, you practice them 10, 20 times when you know them, and then you move on, create a new thing, practice that and create a new thing, make a lot of mistakes, create a new thing, and gradually as you're doing this, the mistakes become fewer and fewer. And you seem to find something that works faster and faster. So what are you moving towards? To be able to instantly come up with lines. Instantly, with no mistakes, with no hesitation. That's actually what you're practicing. So by starting in the composing realm, but not, sitting down and not having a track in the background, you have a track right there, but you give yourself time to come up with lines. By starting in the composing, and then practicing composing in this way, you gradually become better and better and faster until the very point where you don't need to spend any time composing, because you compose instantly. There's a lot of other strategies and methods you can use to really play all the lines you want to play and to have that variety and the excitement and newness to what you play. But this is the fundamental core activity that you need to engage in if you want to become able to just play a solo, just like that, right off the bat with no preparation. And then, you can put structure to it. There's a lot of different really cool methods and insights you can gain on this area. But that is what you need to do every single day. Put on a jam track, practice coming up with a line, and then once you come up with a line, refine it. Phrasing, sliding, bending, put extra notes to it. Once it's perfect in your perspective, in your mind, practice it 10, 20, 30 times until it's easy. Then move on. Do it over and over and over again like a meditation. I promise you, if you stay in the same place and really investigate the same 3 strings in the same position before you move on to something else, then you become so good at improvising in that little area, and then you move on to the next and the next and the next. That is so, so cool. So this was just one little insight. It was a truth, you could say, about how to practice improvising and what really goes on the top level. And we have a new program out that's called The Naked Truth of Melodic Rock, which is basically just me playing over 8 different tracks and then explaining to you what it is that I'm doing. So you can see, you hear me play something and then say, what scale are you using? Why are you doing that as opposed to the other thing? And all these questions that arise when we see somebody play, that's what I'm answering in these 8 different videos and these 8 different tracks. And we got extra lessons on the theory behind melodic rock and all kinds of things. But go check that out. If you have the time to do it now. And then start practicing like this. Put on a jam track, use the same scale in the same position, stay with the same 3 strings or just the same position, and then create these lines over and over and over again and make it a daily ritual. And I promise you, you will become a master improviser. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.